Paradise, Louisiana, with Gary Risponi and Don Dubuque. Paradise, Louisiana would also like to thank these sponsors.
Baton Rouge Coca-Cola Bottling Company, Benny's Car Wash and Oil Change, Cracker Barrel Convenience Stores. We have more than you expect. Blue Cross Blue Shield of Louisiana, Farm Bureau Insurance, Louisiana Fish Fry Products, Demco, First South Farm Credit, Area Wholesale Tire Company, with tire programs for tire dealers.
Welcome to our first springtime edition of Paradise, Louisiana. I'm Gary Risponi.
I'm Don Dubuque. Get your clocks all set, right?
I got
sprung forward last weekend.
Yeah, just spring forward, fall back.
Weren't late for any events.
Didn't
miss any meals. Nothing.
No, I ain't gonna miss no meals.
Oh, I knew that.
I eat when my stomach say eat. Look, but I'm gonna tell you, Don, the springtime it might get here, but you know we still got another cool front coming. It just don't want to leave us.
It's been a long, hard, cold winter.
33 freezes this year in the Baton Rouge area. The average is 16. Almost double. And it's affecting the fish. I got people in a fish report, I'll tell you more about it, up in the north. One day there's feast, next day it's famine. As soon as that cold water shuts them all off, lotto, everywhere.
Well, one thing that definitely helped was the migration of woodcock this year. We've been keeping up with that all season long, and I got the opportunity to make a special hunt after the regular woodcock season closes. There's a limited number of days where you're allowed to hunt them with hawks and falconry. So we made a nice trip down to the Atchafalaya Basin with some of the falconers. We'll show you that.
Well, we did waited good days and bad days, but we caught a great weekend. I went to the Red Stick Conclave at Waddell. Got to talk to them. It was a packed house. I think it's the biggest crowd I've seen in a while. They brought out kayaks. They had people giving gas and demonstrations, so made a visit there. And then I went to something a little controversial right now, and I made a trip to the Capitol. General Richard and the Green Army was out there, and they were protesting and trying to protect our water supply. So that's got to be something real serious. Depending on what side you're on, drinking water is going to be one of the most highly prized commodities in this whole world. But right here in Baton Rouge in Louisiana, it's a problem. I know it's been a problem right now, the way we do with water in the Atchafalaya Spillway. We talk about oil companies, and look, I'm not talking against oil companies. I was raised with Exxon money, and my daddy worked at plants, and Shell Oil has been a good corporate sponsor for Paradise, Louisiana, and CCA. So, but we got General Honore and a couple of people, had a bunch of speakers over there. Hey, we're going to talk to General Honore.
Well, another thing comes up this time of the year, very, very popular, turkey season. We got the opening of the youth hunt for Louisiana. Also, our neighboring states will be opening up their turkey season. And when we were in Kisatchie National Forest, we got an opportunity to get a sneak preview and an inside look at some research that goes on.
Well, it's a partnership between Louisiana Wildlife and Fisheries. They're doing so much work, and the National Forest. And had two students. One of them was originally from Louisiana, but they're the University of Georgia students, and got to talk to all of them and see exactly what they're doing. I guess to talk a little bit about how they burn and how it affects wild turkeys. So we're getting ready. We're going to bring you more from Jimmy Stafford and them. There's a lot of stuff been going on with turkeys. I think I got lined up some people doing some turkey hunting with bow and stuff. So maybe this year, Gary Risponi to get off his behind and get y'all more turkey footage.
I'm going to try my best to get some too. All right, we got that, plus the results of the first of Louisiana Saltwater Series Redfish. That was held in Cocotree. We'll tell you about that. And lots more to come, including the Berkeley Abu Garcia Fishing Report, all right here on Paradise, Louisiana.
When you're ready to really enjoy life at a slower pace, become a landowner. First South Farm Credit specializes in financing and refinancing land, but not just for farmers. They offer loans to purchase timberland, hunting and fishing, or recreational property. Their experience in land, timber, and loans set them apart from standard lending institutions. Contact a First South Farm Credit loan officer for more information. First South Farm Credit, a specialized rural land investment lender helping you realize your dream.
Hey guys, John here. I want to tell you about two new exciting products on the market. from Louisiana Fish Fry Products, #1 selling fry and batter in the country. First is a Cajun fry. It's spicy. It has a great blend of cornmeal and corn flour, the right texture, the right flavor, and good heat. The other is a beer batter, wonderful on shrimp, onion rings, mushrooms, and any white fish. 2 great products available today. Go out and get them from Louisiana Fish Fry Products. Enjoy them.
These engines run for thousands of hours to prove did. With 20% more cleaning agents than before, Shell nitrogen-enriched gasoline.
No, the gasoline protects your engine better!
Awkward. Try Shell nitrogen-enriched gasolines.
No other gasoline protects your engine better.
Visit Cracker Barrel convenience stores before heading fishing or hunting. We have more than you expect.
Welcome back to Paradise, Louisiana. And of course, the youth hunt for turkey season opens up this weekend. But until that time, we've kind of had a little bit of a downtime as far as hunting goes. Although when the woodcock season ended, while the small game, rabbit and squirrel, was still open, there's an extended season to hunt woodcock if you use a special weapon. I'm talking about feathers and talons.
You know, I'm very envious of that. A few years ago, I had stand up and I had it set up to go make a hunt with a falcon. But you done did 2 or 3 of them right now. This one's probably the most interesting one in a while.
Well, we took some guys that you may recall seeing them in the past. We had Jeff LeCompte, who has 2 Harris Hawks, Josh Tanner, and also we met a new falconer. This one, Matt Mullenix from the Baton Rouge area. He's also the author of a book called In Season, Louisiana Falconer's Journal. And I suggest you read it if you're interested in the sport at all. But what we did was we went down to the Atchafalaya Basin. There's been an abundance of woodcock there this year. Took the birds down there. None of these birds had ever hunted woodcock, much less killed one before, so it was a new experience for them, but there was also some rabbits there to keep them busy. We did get a lot of chases, a lot of flushes on the woodcock. Unfortunately, they kind of slipped through their talons in most cases, but I think it was a good learning experience both for the falconers and for the birds themselves. Did catch a couple of swamp rabbits, and all in all, it's a fascinating sport that dates back centuries old.
Oh, I just remember watching the last time you had them. It's amazing. When we go out in the public, I usually ask people what they like about shows, and that's been one of the number one things they talk about, that falcon hunt.
Well, it's very interesting. Let's take you back there now for the special woodcock season using hawking methods down in the Atchafalaya Basin. You know, modern hunters employ the use of GPS and electronic tracking beepers, but there's still a group that likes to do it old school. I'm talking about the falconers.
Well, this is Bo. He's a 1.5 old male Harris Hawk, and the other bird is Remy, and that's a juvenile female Harris Hawk. They'll chase just about anything they think they can catch, you know, but they're good at rabbits.
This is a bird named Ernie. He's a male Harris Hawk, captive bred here in Louisiana. He's 7 years old, and he has caught just about everything that you can catch with a hawk.
You're involved in the hunt so much. You know, they're watching you, you watching them, and they know what they're there for. It's nothing like it.
Oh, rabbit!
One of the nice things about falconry is that you can see something pretty spectacular just about every day. To see your little hawk grab hold of that jackrabbit and wind him up and hold him until you get there is pretty special. It's more of a lifestyle than a type of hunting. You can't take a hawk and put it in a closet at the end of the hunting season. It becomes part of the family.
They call that Manning.
Yeah, Manning.
That's where they got the name, I guess. I guess Archie Manning's ancestors must have been falconers, huh? They say there's no such thing as time traveling. But get a group of hunting buddies and don't forget your feathered friends, and you'll make a trip right back to the Middle Ages.
Ask me about my Tempur-Pedic.
Ask me how fast I fall asleep.
Why not talk to someone who's sleeping on the most highly recommended bed in America?
Ask me about staying asleep.
Tempur-Pedic owners are more satisfied than owners of any traditional mattress brand.
Ask me how it feels after 10 years.
Tempur-Pedic, the most highly recommended bed in America.
Ask about Tempur-Pedic at Olin's, where you know you always get the guaranteed low price. Olin's is the only store in Baton Rouge and Lafayette with the full line of Tempur-Pedics.
We build tires, but not tires like anybody else. We build Cooper tires for people, not just cars. People who are chauffeurs and shuttle pilots, heavy haulers and heavy hitters. More than what your Cooper tires can do, it's about what you can do with your Cooper tires. Life's a road trip. Come on, let's go.
The best part about being a member of a Touchstone Energy Cooperative is that it's your Touchstone Energy Cooperative. That's the power of your co-op membership.
Demco, your Touchstone Energy Cooperative.
Welcome back to Paradise, Louisiana, with the turkey season coming up this weekend, at least for the youths. Everybody's got turkeys on their mind, Gary, and this is the time when you break out the calls and the gear, the camo, and you get ready to go out there and hunt. But there's a lot of research goes into turkey hunting prior to that to ensure that we have good seasons and good management. And we got a sneak preview, in fact, an insider's view of how research is done during our trip to Kisatchie, which is a turkey-rich environment up there.
That's right. Before y'all got there, you know, now it was saying that for one reason we went a little bit early so we could talk to Jimmy Stafford and the people with the Kisatchie National Forest about how they work, their partnership in doing this. And so we talked to Jimmy Stafford and we talked to those students. We got some pictures of what they're looking for. This is a habitat more than anything about turkeys in Louisiana.
All right, we're here today with Dr. Mike Chamberlain with the University of Georgia. For some time we've been working with Dr. Mike, even back when he worked with the Louisiana State University. Done several wild turkey research projects with him. He probably won't like me saying this, but he's one of the foremost wild turkey researchers in the southeast United States. And we're here on Kisatchie. We've been working with the Forest Service here for several years with a couple of different studies, but we've got Mike here today primarily to discuss research with wild turkey hens and how these wild turkey hens relate to prescribed burning.
What we're doing here on Kisatchie is we are capturing wild turkey females during the winter, which right now is the peak of our trapping period. And we outfit those birds with a GPS unit that fits on their back like a backpack. And that GPS unit collects locations every day, and as the spring ramps up, we start getting more intensive locations every hour, several times per hour. And what that does is it allows us to determine where those birds are incubating their nest, their behavior during the nesting cycle, and then when they hatch, we can map exactly where these birds take their broods, what habitats those broods use, and in relation to the prescribed fire that's conducted here on Kisatchie, that really allows us to
northwest, excellent
refine our management strategies in regards to understanding how the fire is influencing wild turkey behavior.
A lot of beautiful stream bottoms
and moving forward, that will allow
big pines,
us
big hardwoods,
to make sure that we manage habitats sustainably for
Thank you. That's what we're trying to do.
All right, my name's Nathan Yeldell. I'm a graduate researcher with the University of Georgia. I'm currently conducting a research study on Kisatchie National Forest, looking at the brooding ecology of hen turkeys. Right here, I've got one of the GPS tags that we outfit on these hens. This unit is equipped with both VHF radio technology and GPS technology. It allows us to collect very precise spatial data on the movements of the turkeys. This unit will sit on the back of an adult turkey. You can see this cord, we use that to loop under the wings, and it rides on it kind of like a backpack, and it should stay on the turkey for the rest of its life.
My name's Jeremy Wood. This is my second year working on turkey projects here in Louisiana. I worked for the University of Georgia last year over at the Tunica Hills Wildlife Management Area on a hunter movement and gobbler movement study. And now I'm out here on the Kisatchie National Forest working on hens, and we're looking at nest success, and brood success. I'm out here on the forest. I really enjoy getting the chance to get out here, get some hands-on experience catching turkeys and letting them go. And
I'm Michael Dawson, District Ranger of the Kisatchie Ranger District, Natchitoches Parish, Louisiana. Behind me is a good example of a prescribed burning during the dormant season on the Kisatchie. Whenever you initiate a prescribed fire, you reduce the wildfire potential by knocking down brush and litter and leaves that can produce a wildfire. You also increase browse for a variety of game species, and then you maintain or you enhance the natural environment of the longleaf community. The Kisatchie National Forest is a great place for turkey hunters, or hunters of all kinds for that matter, but for example, right now, even while the burn is still smoking, you'll see turkeys coming in to get the seeds that have been exposed. It's a prime place for turkey hunters to come. We have turkey season coming up, and it should be a great year for them. Yeah, this is longleaf pine in what's called the grass stage. And it'll look like a little tuft of grass down here for the longest time, and then it'll start to grow. And as it grows, it'll get a fungus on it called a brown spot. Prescribed burning will knock off the brown spot infected needles, and it begins to allow the tree to increase in height growth. But you can see right here, you can see that white bud right there. It's starting to put on, it's thinking about growing even right now. Again, the grass stage of longleaf pine, and all the fire does is just release the tree to begin height growth. We have a co-op agreement with the Louisiana Wildlife and Fisheries Commission and with the University of Georgia itself, and we have students here, and they're working cooperatively with a couple of our people, and the students are just easy to work with. They're very motivated, very enthusiastic, and it's a pleasure to have them here with us.
What do you see that the health or the habitat for turkeys on the forest, all the forest, and what have you been doing to enhance that?
Well,
or what the wildlife and fisheries have been doing?
Primarily, our role is more as an advisor and as a research arm. The Kisatchie National Forest does the actual management on that on this property. Kisatchie represents over 600,000 acres in Louisiana of public land. It's a large habitat base, which makes it of critical importance to wild turkeys in Louisiana. And because it's that important, it's important to us to know what's going on with this wild turkey population. The prescribed burning that they do on Kisatchie National Forest is a big plus for wild turkeys. There was a time in Louisiana when private landowners burned more acres than public landowners, but that is beginning to reverse over time. So we very much encourage the prescribed burning that goes on in this national forest. We very much encourage the timber harvest that goes on. Some people equate timber harvest with being a bad thing, but when it comes to managing wildlife habitat, proper timber harvest is a plus. It improves the habitat structure. It increases the amount of food available for wild turkeys, deer, rabbits.
Underbrush can grow with more sunlight.
It improves nesting habitat. So the things that the Kisatchie National Forest folks are doing is a plus for wild turkeys. Not to mention, it's such a large block of woods, it creates a habitat base for even these private landowners around here to benefit from. So, you know, it's a plus for everybody. Well, for the past 4 years, we've been conducting a gobbler study. It's called a banding study. What we do is we capture gobblers and we quickly measure their vital statistics, the beard length, spur length, weights, and that sort of thing, and we put a band on their leg and we let them go. And what that does is it allows us to, when hunters kill that bird, it helps us understand what percent of the population is being harvested, whether it be adult birds or juvenile birds. Gives us a little bit of information on how far they're traveling. We've been doing this on all 5 of the Kisatchie Ranger districts for the last, actually for 4 years. And so by all means, when people harvest a bird, we hope they'll give us a call if it's got a band on it, and we'll be glad to give them the information of when we caught the bird and how far it traveled and such. But it provides us with some vital information about the harvest on Kisatchie. And Kisatchie is such an important wild turkey resource in Louisiana that's it's something that's real important that we do to monitor that harvest. And by doing this study, it's kind of like having a cookie jar. If you don't know how many cookies you've got in that jar, and you don't know how many cookies you're taking out of that jar, then you may go there and it runs out. But this study here will tell us whether we're over harvesting or under harvesting wild turkey gobblers, and just help us as responsible managers to do a better job of managing the hunting on Kisatchie.
Benny's Car Wash and Oil Change has been keeping cars and trucks in Baton Rouge clean and running smooth for over 50 years. At Benny's, we feature professional car washing, complete detailing, high-tech waxing and buffing, interior cleaning, and tire shine. Benny's, one stop for car maintenance with complete oil and lube services and even state inspections at our express locations. Visit one of our 5 convenient locations, including our newest store on Greenwell Springs Road. And don't forget to stop by Be Quick Convenience Store and Fuel Stop. Benny's Car Wash and Oil Change. Drive in dirty, drive out clean.
Come to the family-owned and operated Cassius Casino in Port Allen today, where the Vegas-style video poker machines are ready for your entertainment. Cassius Casino is the finest, cleanest, classiest casino around. And Cassius 50-style diner is now serving seafood daily, along with your favorite home-cooked specials 24/7. Hey, Cassius is fun. Cassius is exciting. So come to the unsinkable Cassius Casino in Port Allen. Over the river 2 miles west of exit 151.
Louisiana Farm Bureau Insurance doesn't hire celebrities to push auto coverage. We think people might like to make decisions based on service and savings, not just because that guy from that show says it's a good idea. Instead of faces you know from your TV, we offer faces you know from your neighborhood. Because we're based in Louisiana, with local agents right in your town. That's really the only thing we want to be famous for. Louisiana Farm Bureau Insurance. Real service, real people.
Welcome back to Paradise, Louisiana. And Gary, you got to cover an issue, a topic that came up about the use of groundwater, a conservation issue. Tell us about what that's all about.
Well, you know, when this really started, they've been having a big organization, Jimmy Jenkins, Hayes Towns, a lot of business people in Louisiana were saying, hey, look, we're talking about saltwater intrusion coming into our groundwater, you know, and it's affecting thousands, 400,000 people just in the Baton Rouge metropolitan area. And the aquifers, if I'm saying that right, are losing water every day. But some of that water, which drinking water should be, and house water, potable water, is supposed to be the most important thing. But these plants, all up and down the river, and them are drawing from that aquifer. And they could be drawing from the Mississippi River. So that was one of the things they did, trying to get coalitions, and everybody, business people, everybody stick together and say, hey, it's time now. Don't wait any longer to do this. And that's what I was reading. But I was going out there, too, because there's more than just the aquifer, which is the most important thing they were talking about. But what I was interested in is they had people from all over the state, from the Ouachita, from down to Toledo Bend, the Chapelizod Spillway, what the people are going through in Pierre Port, at Bayou Corn. They were saying, you know, they're not anti-oil companies, but they're saying it's time that the people that cause the problems to fess up through the insurance or whatever they didn't pay. And they don't think the legislature is doing what they were doing, so they protest on the Capitol. By the way, since I was way back a young man, that's the first Capitol protest I've ever been part of. Really enjoyed it, had great music and a band, and General Richard, you know, here he is. He's a very good speaker. He had people fired up. They had some great, really funny, hilarious signs. They had a all pelican. Let's go over there and see and listen to some of the sights and sounds of what went on, and then we're going to talk to General Honore. And this is the Green Army meeting at the Capitol steps. That was this past Saturday.
We must preserve our food. Yesterday, there's a lot of seafood eaten in Louisiana. Imagine the day when we will not be able to eat Louisiana seafood because of the greed and callous operation of these very companies that come here and create the jobs and ship the money out of state. Ladies and gentlemen, that must change. Louisiana. We want to be Louisiana. And the oil and gas and chemical industry will respect our human rights. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen.
We came down to the Capitol.
We came down to the Capitol.
To tell Baton Rouge we've had our fill.
Tell Baton Rouge we've had our fill.
We've got a general on our side.
We've got a general on our side.
And we're ready to turn the tide.
And we're ready to turn the tide.
Who that say they're gonna save our coast?
Who that say they're gonna save our coast?
Clean the sheen, repair the air, play fair.
My name is Hayes Town. I'm going to save Baton Rouge water. It's very important to the people in the Baton Rouge area. Over 400,000 people drink the water from the aquifer under Baton Rouge. This aquifer is under attack by saltwater intrusion. The saltwater intrusion is led by overpumping of the aquifer, causing the salt water to move north into our drinking water. There's no debate about that. That's what's happening. They've refused to recognize that for all these years. They've just begun to realize that it's true and that everybody knows it, but it's time to get the legislature to act upon it.
I'm going to be really brief and say I don't know a lot of the technical things as Mike does. I want to tell you from a Mimi, I'm a Mimi with rose-colored glasses, that 19 months ago, I would have never dreamed that in the United States of America, a family could be forced from their home. So that is what I'm here to say. When you leave and you go home tonight, just imagine if you, your children, and your grandchildren could never go back to your home again. Just imagine that. And that's where we are.
Will Basuma did an excellent job describing the place where I'm from, Plaquemine Parish. We all know about the muddy Mississippi River. We all know that in 1972 we had the Clean Water Act was supposed to be the police and take all of our matters. Am I right about that?
Let's look at New Orleans, because for every corporation, it's set on the bank of the river, and whenever they process, the benzene, the coke, these things land in our water. We don't have clean water in New Orleans, but we don't have our officials to speak out about it.
Be smarter with our water. Be smarter with our water. Yeah.
I get 2 minutes. Continue, 1st of April. We're going to be back here again, so we want to see you here.
The message I'd like to share with my friends who live here in Sportsman Paradise, who like to go out on a nice day like today and catch a mess of sacalets or some crawfish. We need you to be involved in this, because if we don't save our water, it will change the way we live. We don't want our water that our crawfish grow in to smell like benzene. We don't want our crabs to be destroyed because the water has become polluted. And we don't want to set in a duck blind where you can see oil floating in the water. Those 6,000 abandoned wells, we got to do something. I'm asking all of my fellow sportsmen throughout Louisiana, if you see something, say something. All of you carry a camera. If you see an abandoned well, take a picture of it. Send it to Gary, send it in. We just got to get those recorded and get it fixed. And you know, there's a lot of companies out there, they know that they got to fix this. Let's work with them. Let's find a solution on the ground. And those of you that work in the industry, talk to your partners, and let's get involved with saving our bayous and our ponds and our shoreline from this destruction that's happening. Because if we don't save it, it won't be here.
Don't mess with our bayou. Don't mess with our bayou. We gotta keep the water clean. So don't mess with our bayou. Keep it clean. Woo!
We build tires, but not tires like anybody else. We build Cooper tires for people, not just cars. People who are chauffeurs and shuttle pilots, heavy haulers and heavy hitters. More than what your Cooper tires can do, it's about what you can do with your Cooper tires. Life's a road trip. Come on, let's go.
You're watching Paradise, Louisiana, and don't mess with our bayous. Hooah!
I can't believe y'all brought me out in the blind and we ain't got no food. Man, I'm hungry.
Don't worry, Gary. This will be over quick.
Thanks to our sponsor, Raising Cane's and Todd Grays, a real Louisiana sportsman and conservationist, with true aim and sure shot, giving back to Louisiana.
Good job, girl. That's a better retrieve than any duck. Cane's, the official chicken of Louisiana outdoors.
Welcome back to Paradise, Louisiana, and another springtime event took place. Was a gathering of fly fishermen, and you were there.
22nd annual. We got to go through there and see it. And by the way, I got there a few minutes late and everything, but I don't ever leave. I had to go to the Capitol, but I don't ever leave till they serve food because they're one of the best jambalayas and food around. But I got to eat and watch and took some film, talked to some young people, some young kids out there, especially with the kayak, talked to somebody from the backpacker, talked to the president of the Red Stick, and talked to some couples, or some other fly fishermen that came all the way from Mandeville. So it's a big crowd. Some of the regulars are Roger Del Rio. I call him Mr. Mike. He's a big kayaker. Your buddy and our buddy that Ketch Cormier was there, and he didn't want to talk. He was watching himself. But let me say one thing. I took some pictures. Y'all won't believe some of these fly bait. They look almost like a fish. But if you ever seen a hard plastic bait that's really painted, with all the acrylic paint and all the scales, they're making fly bait now with feathers on the back and a bait. The paint job is unbelievable. I don't know how they do it with something that small. This is the Red Stick Fly Fishing Conclave at Waddell off of Flannery Road.
Hello, I'm Emmett Simmons. I'm the events chairman for the 2014 Red Stick Day. And I'd like to welcome everybody here today. We've got a fantastic weather. We've got all kind of casting demo going out at the lake. We have a jambalaya. We have speakers on cold water, fresh water, and salt water going on outside.
A back cast, let the line go out behind you, straighten out, and come forward. Now you all notice probably that this is thinner line towards the back end of the line. You've got a heavier, thicker part out here. You got running line here. And that's so you can shoot this. So you do the old back cast and let it go, and you shoot all the line. That's what you want in the marsh. Did you double haul that?
We have some of the best fly tyers in the Deep South who are demonstrating here today. We have kayak demonstrations that are going to be coming up here shortly, courtesy of the backpacker. We have a wonderful jambalaya that's going on right now. We have fly fishing demonstrations on showing you how to do advanced casting as well as basic casting strokes.
My name is Courtney Robinson. I go to Forest Heights Academy of Excellence. I'm 10 years old. I'm in the 4th grade.
What's your favorite fish to catch, man?
I don't know.
You like them all? Yes, sir.
Tommy Eubanks with the Hobie fishing team, and I'm here at the Redfish Conclave doing a little demos for the Hobie fishing kayaks.
And I'm Andy Hill from the Backpacker, out here on this beautiful day, bringing our boats out to demo out at these lakes. We do demos at LSU lakes about once a month, and in Lafayette about once a month as well. If you have any questions about those, call the store. We sponsor fishing tournaments. We do ride the bull, paddlepalooza, trying to get people out in the water in this beautiful state.
Inside there's those little plastic sleeves, and I think there's another that's getting stuff in.
I crashed.
You bad, boy. Yeah. You like that kayak?
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
This one's much more faster than that one.
Come on.
Yeah, so this is the Hobie Pro Angler. Obviously has the Mirage drive system, patented pedal system, so you use your feet instead of your hands to move forward. He's turning right now with his rudder. The seat, probably the most comfortable seat you're ever going to see on a kayak. Fully adjustable. Still comes with a paddle, but you really don't need it too often. Awesome boat, easy to stand up in, easy to cast.
With a grin on his face. See a Hobie in your future.
Yeah, I love it. House open it up, and there are 3 fly rods in it. And they're all 3 are broken in the same place. The guys in the warehouse go, well, that's odd. This is Alan Churchill and Kelly Churchill, and we're from Mandeville, and we're up here to work on our casting and just to meet everybody. It seems like a great day, nice spring day after a cold winter.
Yeah. And you ready? You got a fishing trip planned?
Yes, we're actually going to Montana in June. My husband and I and his father. They had to do an annual trip, and this year I got invited.
Also outside, we're going to have a program on Rouge Del Rio on fly casting basics. It's happening right now. After which we'll have a lunch, and we'll sell tickets, continue to sell tickets for the Gamblers Draw,
So I just kind of turn around and see. Like I said, the fish don't care if it's
all the free, huh?
Beyond the getting the normal amount. Yeah, actually this you can get, yeah, these those it's called the third hand. I'll get those from Harbor.
Yeah, I mean,
not very. They dry, but you could scrape it off if you. Well,
and it's just a tiny bit wider, so you can move it.
I've noticed the ones you've been posting, the flash movies. You see how a lot of flat bigger.
And you want it to be just a hair longer.
This is our 22nd annual event, and if you've missed the event this year, we invite you to come back next year and take advantage of it.
To get covered, Louisiana. Blue Cross has a plan in every parish, every zip code. No matter where you are, you're covered through and through. We got a blue for I'm covered. You. From Lake Charles, North Round, Shangri-La. Covered. From Venice to Vadeza, I'm covered. No matter where you are, you're covered through and through. We got a blue for you. Call your Blue Cross agent or go to bcbsla.com and get covered too.
You're watching Paradise, Louisiana.
These engines run for thousands of hours to prove that we did. With 20% more cleaning agents than before, Shell nitrogen-enriched gasoline.
Oh, the gasoline protects your engine better!
Awkward. Try Shell nitrogen-enriched gasolines.
No other gasoline protects your engine better.
Visit Cracker Barrel convenience stores before heading fishing or hunting. We have more than you expect.
When you're ready to really enjoy life at a slower pace, become a landowner. First South Farm Credit specializes in financing and refinancing land, but not just for farmers. They offer loans to purchase timberland, hunting and fishing, or recreational property. Their experience in land, timber, and loans set them apart from standard lending institutions. Contact a First South Farm Credit loan officer for more information. First South Farm Credit, a specialized rural land investment lender helping you realize your dream.
Welcome back to Paradise, Louisiana. And last weekend we kicked off the Louisiana Saltwater Series, the Redfish Challenge, in Cocodrie down at Andre Boudreau's place, Boudreau's Marina. Had a pretty good turnout for the first tournament. Nearly 50 boats showed up and some outstanding catches. You'll see the winners on the screen, but boy, Bubby Lamy, who fished with us on one of our shows earlier this winter, was the winner. He and Sidney Canatelli came in with 16.79. Now remember, that's just 2 redfish.
And it's a different area. You know, a lot of times when you fish in venison and things, you might see an 18-pound stringer. But anytime you're over 16 pounds, it's good. But what was really funny was the smallest fish. And who was it caught by? It wasn't a bad catch itself for the smallest.
Joel Pareto caught a 6.54. And remember, these redfish, to qualify as weighers, have to be between 16 and 27 inches. So, I mean, to catch a fish that's that small in that size, that big in that size to be the smallest fish, is an indication that the fish were really healthy, good-sized fish in that tournament.
And the youth winner was Noah Crane. He's 7.75.
7.75.
Almost 8 pounds.
Congratulations to him, and we'll keep you up to date on all the redfish tournaments coming up the rest of this year.
Well, we had a few more tournaments. They had a tournament, a Clico tournament at the Midway Marina at Red River. The winners on that, I'm going to look it up right now real quick. The first place was Jacob Thiels with 14.40 pounds. Second place was Kurt Weinhardt with 14.3. They were all tied together. Third was Mike and Michael Walsworth, and the fourth place was Brent McCarthy. But I want to thank Kemp Nelson and his family. They always send his reports, sending his pictures, taking the time to do this. But I'll tell you what, it's the best place around, one of the best places around to go do a tournament. The landing's outstanding. They got rooms. There's so many things to do around there. So it said Pool 3. So I just want to put a plug in. Thank you for doing that. Also had a tournament. My buddy Jody Russo fished a tournament at Toledo Bend. He's with the Baton Rouge Better Bass and Waters. He called me Friday. He was scouting. He couldn't catch no big fish. He was catching up to 28, 30 fish a day. They were fishing on the Texas size around Patroon. He run into John Andre. You know, remember John Andre with the Trolling Motor Shop and a couple of things he had, Toledo Tackle and Exit. Yeah, still fishing at his age. By the way, no people don't know. You know, John Andre is a Hall of Famer at Southeastern. Yeah, but going back to fishing, Jody caught his fish. He won them, went in the tournament with 15-something pounds. He was catching his fish on a chug bug. The water was still at 48, 50 degrees in some places, but with the sun shining, he was in that grass. Most of it was shallow water. He was catching it around that grass, a top water bait, and he did tremendous. He won it. He was fishing by himself. Another thing, he said I was going to wait till the fishing report, but I'm going to tell you what got his attention is he says he's getting ready to bust wide open. He said, one thing about fishing Toledo Bend, you can be catching fish, and all of a sudden you got that 9 or 10 pounder there. So it's time for y'all to make a trip to Toledo Bend. It's time for me and Gary Krause to make a trip to Toledo Bend. But the thing that excites me, he caught 4, doing fishing for bass, he caught 4 big cyclade, close to 2 pounds. He caught them on a rattle trap. He was running that rattle trap through that grass, and he was catching the full-size rattle trap.
We'll get more of that during the fishing report. Other big news this week, the kickoff of the turkey season, the youth hunt on private lands, also for the physically challenged, takes place this weekend. It's also a good weekend for the regular hunters to get out and do some scouting because the season will be opening the following week. It opens up statewide. Check the Wildlife and Fisheries website or the pamphlet for the closing date in your area because they are different. Also, our neighboring state of Mississippi, season's open there too. If you want to get out and do some turkey hunting.
The youth weekend was just coming up. But tell me what's going on with these hogs right now? You know, you've been talking about it in your show.
Well, we're going to try to get the results of that, but for the first time on WMA's Pearl River on the marsh area south of Highway 90 and also in Sherburne on the north and south farms, they hired helicopters with sharpshooters to go out and try to destroy as many feral hogs as they can. They said the extended seasons, the relaxed regulation is not getting the job done. I kind of questioned whether the expense of helicopters and professional shooters was a cost-effective way to get rid of hogs, and they say it is, so we'll be looking to see how the success went. There's also an element of possible safety problem with people shooting, but they tell me that they're not shooting rifles. They're shooting coyote loads out of shotguns on these hogs. So it's very interesting. We're going to keep an eye on that and keep you up to date on how that's working.
And I'll be remiss. We got another St. Jude tournament coming. It's 3rd annual St. Jude tournament. It's a little unique tournament. It's also out of Saline and the Lotto Complex, Order Red River, and that's March 29th. You see on the screen, we'll run it in a little bit more on the screen. And by the way, I just got to put a plug in. You look at the calendar. We run CCA at the West Bank banquet coming March 20th. Excuse me.
This weekend, if you're watching this before Saturday, the Ponchatoula Gumbo Cook-Off, 7th annual. We're going to be out there, myself and Hokie Gajan. We'll be broadcasting the radio program beginning at 5 a.m. For $5, you get a cup with no bottom. You can eat all the gumbo you want. So you might want to take advantage of that.
Bottom.
It's an Old Town Ponchatoula.
Cup with no bottom.
No bottom.
It'll
You just
run
keep
all over
pouring
your
into
clothes.
it.
Oh. No bottom. I said one that can run all over you.
All right. We'll be back with the fishing report right after this. You're watching Paradise, Louisiana.
Fishing. It's where good stories come from. It's about good times and family and friends. It's about taking a couple home for dinner tonight and saving a few for tomorrow. It's all about that and so much more. To CCA, fishing is about enjoying today and making sure tomorrow is even better. To us, fishing comes with a responsibility for the resources we enjoy so much. If fishing means all that to you, then you belong with CCA.
Come to the family-owned and operated Cassius Casino in Port Allen today, where the Vegas-style video poker machines are ready for your entertainment. Cassius Casino is the finest, cleanest, classiest casino around. And Cassius 50-style diner is now serving seafood daily, along with your favorite home-cooked specials 24/7. Hey, Cassius is fun. Cassius is exciting. So come to the unsinkable Cassius Casino in Port Allen. Over the river 2 miles west of exit 151.
Benny's Car Wash and Oil Change has been keeping cars and trucks in Baton Rouge clean and running smooth for over 50 years. At Benny's, we feature professional car washing, complete detailing, high-tech waxing and buffing, interior cleaning, and tire shine. Benny's, one stop for car maintenance with complete oil and lube services and even state inspections at our express locations. Visit one of our 5 convenient locations, including our newest store on Greenwell Springs Road. And don't forget to stop by Be Quick Convenience Store and Fuel Stop. Benny's Car Wash and Oil Change. Drive in dirty, drive out clean.
Welcome to the Berkeley Abu Garcia Fishing Report. Before we get to the fishing report, Gary, I've been noticing this hat you got on there. Is your head crooked or the hat crooked? Something's got to be straightened out here.
See, that's what happens when you get older. I stay up with what's going on with the youth
I understand.
in Louisiana, and I don't know if I'd wear it fishing or hunting, but it's a square bill, the flat bill. This is it. You're watching all the young
How
people
can I
on
get
TV,
one?
MTV. You can get it on our website. Thank you, Don. That's what I do. That's the reason behind it. It makes my ears look a little bit bigger, but I'm gonna tell you what. They're all popular. And you like that low profile. You can wear them all. Low profile. Gary wears low profile. I like the old baseball caps. But if you go to our website, we got them all. Everything you want. T-shirts coming out. So I want to thank you for letting me give that plug. My son-in-law, my daughter are going to appreciate that. But look, this hat is popular. They got a lot of people. You can get them on our website. And or just email me. Tell me what you think about it. If you think I look silly, don't email me.
Gary at Paradise, Louisiana. Send your comments.
Let's talk fish. I'm going to take
Well, we
off.
brought Gary Krause in here because he's been out there doing it. Gary, what's going on?
Well, the one thing I've been saying all winter long, everybody talks about record cold winter. The thing I've been saying is, look at the hours of sunlight that we've had. Even when we finally get one warm day, it's still cloudy. We just hadn't gotten the sunlight. But this week, it made a difference. 3 days of sunlight. Jeff Brule and I fished a tournament on the Pearl River Saturday. The sun was shining, but it hadn't been. The water was 49 degrees. We caught all of our fish except one, 6 to 10 foot deep, down in the river channel on half-ounce jigs. They just have not moved up. They were full of eggs, but we just couldn't get anything over 2 pounds. Sunday, the very next day, instead of 11 pounds winning the tournament at the same place, 16.5 pounds won the tournament. So the third day of sunshine, that's all it's taken. These fish want to come up. They know they got to spawn. They're full of eggs. They need to warm themselves. You get that third day.
How did Jeff do after you got out of the boat?
He went to bed. I had to drive home.
No. How did Jeff do the next day, the Sunday tournament?
The next day, he went to a totally different area.
Oh, yeah.
Eden Isles, clear water, with somebody that knew the area. They actually could see the fish.
How many fish they catch? How many pounds?
3. They only caught 3 fish. They could not make the fish commit. But they were moving up, a little bit spooky, but instead of on jigs, they were catching them on spinnerbaits.
Well, while we're talking about bass, and Toledo Bend, like I told you before, is about to bust wide open. There's so many fish being caught, and then every now and then they're making that trick to lead the tackle, and there's some big fish will be coming in. Now's the time, you know, you get that February, few warm days, they catch some big fish, but you're at the end of March, early April, you're going to catch them all the way to the end of April. You just got to fight them days. They're going to be a little windy. And you know how that is. The March winds brings April showers. And Gary, I'm going to make a promise. We got to go up there. Jody wants to go back up there and take me. He got places. They're fishing on the Texas side of the Baton. He was talking about where the grass is pretty in there. Another bad news is Sylvania, giant Sylvania. It's in some of those places right now. He has never seen it, Toledo Bend. What they call white perch up in North Louisiana. Kobe's still catching fishes in all them little lakes, the little sloughs behind the Cypress Lakes. They said they moved up to about 2 foot of water this past weekend. Catch them under a cork with a jig, and they're doing real good. And they also tight line on tricks. Talk to them boys from Lotto. You go there one day and you do great. That cold weather comes in and knocks them off. Most people will tell, I thought they were spider rigging. They're out in the middle of the lake and they're not doing it. They're fishing 2 and 3 foot of water up against the bank. And there's a couple of them areas like Chad Lake and the other places on Lotto. They fish in the banks. It's like they do at Old River and other places like that. You can get Old River right now because the river's all in it. But Yo-Yo still's a hot one. You're talking about Lake Bruin, Lake Concordia, Lake St. John, all those lakes. And the lake I couldn't think of last week was Yucatan. The river's coming in yet, so I'm not getting the other trust. Sac-a-lay at Toledo Bend, you better get ready. When Jody caught, like I said before, Jody caught 4 of them on a rattle trap.
2 pounds.
That's it. Spillway, not hearing anything right now with the high water. You hearing
the water's
anything?
coming up.
But and down in the marsh, down there by Black, I'm getting mixed reports on sac-a-lay and bass. So there's a lot of people waiting on the big brim to start moving in the Barrett area also.
Well, I'm going to make a prediction. We're 4 to 6 weeks behind on normal fish migration because of this cold weather. Normally the bass are 1 month, the sac-a-lay move up, then the brim. I'm beginning to think that all the fish are going to try and move up at the same time when it finally gets warm.
That could make for some very interesting mixed catches if you're going out there just fishing freshwater.
And you talk about your catfishing all the time, but I got an older gentleman. He was at that Green Army rally, and he gave me his card. He said he's been catching some big catfish and having a lot of fun in the Intercoastal Canal out southwest. So.
Well, speaking of big catfish, it's still, despite what a Monroe television station said, that there is a unofficial state record Louisiana catfish which was caught by a 12-year-old young man up in the Mississippi River near Monroe. We got a picture of it. You can see it, 114 pounds. Now, if it is accepted by Louisiana Outdoor Writers Association Fish Records Committee, it will break the state record by 4 pounds. But as of this recording, we have not received an application yet, so we'll see how that turns out.
Right. You know, and I was listening to Joe talk the other day while I'm fishing. Y'all finding some old records that are documented. So y'all got y'all work cut out for y'all to the record.
Yeah.
They were talking about bringing those records back because they were documented.
Exactly. Check it out. It's Louisiana Outdoor Writers Association, and you can find all the up-to-date fish records. Let's talk a little saltwater fishing. There hadn't been a lot of reports coming in because the weather's been so lousy. People just haven't been going out. One of the bright spots has been that Delacroix Island area. Jack Payne and that gang over there, as soon as you get a couple of little warm days or some sunshine, they're catching a lot of speckled trout in that area. But the other areas just seem to be coming on a little bit slower.
There's too much muddy water coming down.
Muddy, dirty water. That's the biggest problem. That hasn't affected the redfish nearly as bad. We saw the catches in Cocodrie. That was good. Redfish all over the Biloxi Marsh area. Over there by the Chef area, you can catch redfish. Lake Catherine. You name it. Grand Isle is still on. I would suspect Grand Isle probably going to start popping those speckled trout. That'll be one of the first places to turn on.
Yeah, I can remember catching fish in April in the Caminada. The water gets so clear you can see it all the way down in the Caminada, back by the old wrecks. You know, all of them islands are going back toward Round Lake, and this area is going back there, Little Lake. So you'll start seeing them turn on. They're not always big fish, but I can remember catching 4-pound fish on top water right there with Bridgeside looking in sight. So, Don, you know, we talking about Big Lake and a lot of them. them people, the Big Lake calmed down. Them people are starting to wade Big Lake right now. The water's still cold and they're wearing waders, but that's going to be a real hot. You know what I think sometimes we don't get the reports in because some people don't like to put the secret out early. When everybody starts catching them, you know, they want to say, oh, yeah, I tell you, we caught this, we caught that. But I've had them hold back a little bit. Where'd you catch them? Oh, I caught them in the mouth. You know, sometimes I understand that if you fish in tournaments, but there's nothing wrong with sharing information. If you want to watch us or watch other shows or see the paper, you got to share information. We're all in this together.
Well, the offshore news is there's still plenty of red snapper in Louisiana's, our own extended waters, which is out. Some people say 9 miles, some people say 10. It's measured in marine leagues, but the word I'm getting is the snapper are small. The ones that are in close, a lot of them are undersized, so you kind of cull through them to find some keeper red snapper. The run on the wahoo is still going on. There's still some tuna fishing going on out there. And don't forget, if you're going to be fishing offshore, make sure you get that annual permit. It's free. Go to the Department of Wildlife and Fisheries website, and you can download it there. It'll just take you a couple of minutes. While I'm talking about permits, don't forget turkeys, you got to tag them. And make sure you get the tag on the bird before it's removed from the spot of the kill.
Yeah, and also, if any of y'all out there snapper fishing get stopped, be sure let us know. Take pictures, let us know.
So far, it's been quiet. Haven't heard of any, you know,
right.
citations being written by the feds for people who they say are in violation of the offshore water fishery. Anyway, what else? Anything else? No,
I saw them guys with them fly rods. They all getting ready to go up to Concordia and everything. They say the brim run's getting ready to come on. Come on, brim. Come on, caterpillars on the trees. Come on, man.
Come on,
Gary,
springtime.
right.
Get them turkeys gobbling. Help us out, too, by the way. As Gary mentioned, send us in your fishing reports, where you are, what you caught them with, maybe even mention a little bit of your technique. And by all means, send us your photographs, too.
Yeah.
And also want to see some turkey pictures coming in, too, if you're successful this turkey season. Gary at Paradise, Louisiana. And if you want a hat like that, let Gary know.
Tell me what you think.
I like the waxed hat better.
Okay.
All right, we'll be back again next week. Thanks for being with us right here on Paradise, Louisiana.
Paradise, Louisiana, with Gary Risponi and Don Dubuque. Paradise, Louisiana would also like to thank these sponsors.
Baton Rouge Coca-Cola Bottling Company, Benny's Car Wash and Oil Change, Cracker Barrel Convenience Stores. We have more than you expect. Blue Cross Blue Shield of Louisiana, Farm Bureau Insurance, Louisiana Fish Fry Product, Gemco, First South Farm Credit, Area Wholesale Tire Company, for tire programs for tire dealers.